So glad to see you again. We are with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a food and wine sommelier of the year. The group includes where we are, Owen's Ordinary in North Bethesda, one of the newest additions to the NRG, and we're outside. Very cool outside bar here too, when it's 75 in February. I know this is going to air in March, but trust us, it's very nice outside. You also have Columbia Firehouse in Vermilion and Old Town Blue Jacket down by Nats Park. Greg, always good to see you, especially
Brennan.
on a day like this.
I know.
What do we have on tap this week?
So this week we have a beer from Omnipollo, a really cool sort of Swedish brewing company, although they're gypsy brewers in the same vein as like Mikkeller, Evil Twin, or Stillwater. So you have Henrik is his name, Henrik Fenty and Carl Grandin. These are two Swedes. They conceive their beers in Stockholm where they live, and then they go about producing them in different breweries throughout the world. They produce quite a bit of beer in the US now, and they make dynamite stuff, where everything from like strong stouts with spices to really, really hoppy beers, and then some great sours like the Bianca, which is a Gose. But one thing I'll say before we even drink this is, like, you know, this whole idea of contract brewing or gypsy brewing or you know, creating labels that are produced elsewhere, there's a lot to be said for it. If we were producing this beer in Sweden and sending it all the way over here, it would be a fair bit more expensive than it is being brewed in the US. And then when you get to freshness, the IPAs that Omnipollo are making in the US now are coming to us extremely fresh because they're brewed stateside. And so it gains something that you wouldn't have if it was just, you know, being produced, you know, in their local brewery in Stockholm.
Okay, so this is made in the U.S.
Yes,
not
all of it is, yeah.
Stockholm, but
everything is made in the U.S.
Basically in spirit from Sweden.
Exactly.
Excellent.
But it's interesting. I mean, beer is always kind of drawn into confusion,
Sure.
like what is origin, what's terroir, because you know you can make beer everywhere. So this is just a classic kind of German-style Gose, a little bit dark, lots of good wheat character here, light and refreshing. Crisp on the palate, kind of crackery. It's got acidity from the lactobacillus. Coriander spice that's not overwhelming.
No.
And just very crisp, clean, refreshing, effervescent, almost like a really light glass of like sparkling white wine or something.
Very nice.
Yeah,
and
very
interesting what you say about crackery, because, I mean, from
grainy.
the taste too, it must go good with cheese, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So they make this in Stockholm and they make it here?
No, everything is made.
Everything's made
abroad.
Here.
Yeah. They don't have their own actual brewery.
Yeah, okay.
They are just an idea.
They're totally gypsy, as you said. Right.
Which is, but it's interesting, right? Because you know it's always been so different from wine. I mean, you can brew beer anywhere, 24/7. So does it matter so much, you know, that it's not, you know, and Allagash, Allagash is a great example because they were Belgian-style beers being made in Maine, you know, starting in 1995. So it is interesting. I think now, though, there are what I was trying to say before is there's even better benefits now than there used to be about producing your beer contractually elsewhere. And you're seeing it not even just from gypsy brewers, but from like brewers that are building breweries on the East Coast from the West Coast. I mean, they're doing that in part because of freshness and to cut down on cost. So in some ways, these gypsy brewers are kind of ahead of the time and spreading themselves out globally.
So nice. Boy, I would love to live in Stockholm and over in the U.S.
Overseas.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to go to Stockholm. I have family who live outside Stockholm, and great country.
Absolutely. Awesome.
So I would be, other than you mentioned crackery, I would, what would you pair it with?
So, you know, well,
Save
there's
us some time there.
Yeah, the classic thing, you know, this is also brewed with a little bit of salt. So it has almost a briny character, which makes it a natural suggestion for seafood of all kinds. In the same way that, like, you know, crisp, dry white wine works well with briny seafood. You mentioned cheese earlier, absolutely. Chèvre, goat's milk cheeses, but also, you know, really hard, sharp cheeses. This will dig right into it. Good balance of acid against the salt of like an aged cheddar or something like that. But the other thing that's been kind of going around for a long time is this particular style of Gose, sour, salty, slightly spiced wheat beer, is amazing with Thai food. It's the kind of thing that, like, if you like to get takeout Thai, you should have Gose in your fridge to eat with it. It's so great. It works. You can see how it would work really well with curries and coconut milk. Excellent with peanuts. You know, great with spice and cilantro. Tom yum, tom kha soup. It's phenomenal stuff.
Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.